What makes you think you're ready for commitment?
Because the Bible told me so.
Hell no! I was so mad about that.
Bruh, you tripping.
Religion never, ever takes you away from God.
I only had 3 abortions.
Talking Fresh Podcast.
And we back. And we back. Bust a rhyme for him.
Yeah, no.
We back. Come on.
No, you can do it.
And we back. Come on, man. Bust a rhyme.
No!
Bust a rhyme
Listen to this
for him.
podcast.
Why you yelling at me? Yeah, you know I gotta get up and go
So
pee.
today's topic is
Yeah, you know my dick.
boundaries.
Sure. Yeah.
Are we doing boundaries?
We're doing boundaries?
Sure, let's go.
Sure, let's go. Boundaries. I had a whole breakdown of this show, and I totally forgot every talking point. Or it might be in my phone.
Let's hope so.
Hold on, it might be in my phone.
Because
I'm trying to be more professional. Well, not professional, but I'm trying to make a little more sense as I do more episodes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes we freestyle, but okay, yeah, a little more organized. That's what I meant to say. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you're a little retarded.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I don't know. Let's see. Let me not check my texts so I won't get distracted. Is that a word? Distracted?
Yeah, I think it's spelled with the ST and not
distracted.
a CR.
All right. So let's see what I had. Oh, I got the schemes. Really? That's what I typed. Oh, you know what I was doing? I was about to freestyle on. I got the keys.
Yeah.
Being goofy. Why did I put that on my phone?
Asking for it.
All right. So I got a couple things, but I ain't finished. What the fuck was I? I must have smoked that day. All right. So before I blab on too damn much, today we was going to talk about boundaries.
Boundaries when dealing with motherfuckers.
Boundaries dealing with boundaryless people. So I was going to title this, Your Boundaries Hurt Me. You get it? No, you don't get it? All right,
yeah,
go.
I do.
Because a lot of times when you have boundaries, people take it personal, as if like you made it for them specifically. It's like, no, boundaries aren't punishments. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that we all lack at. And how I know this, because, well, I ain't going to say we all, but a lot of us lack at, especially young people in our age group. Like, we don't know what the fuck we doing in relationships. I would like to think, because most of them don't last long, or it's just not a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of successful relationships. I don't see much. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to talk about boundaries because in the past maybe 3-4 years is something that I've been exposed to. And yeah, I bumped my head dealing with the courts. That's another situation. And I wound up being appointed to do some, counseling? Anger management and substance abuse, all kind of shit. It's all into one. It's like I guess you would say therapy. I don't know if she's a therapist or a counselor. I don't know the difference. Anyways, so long story short, I was in this class. I had to do a couple sessions. And I'm like, shit, I might as well take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. This is like years ago, like 4 years ago. 3 or 4 years ago. From the date of 2017. All right, so. No. Because some people might hear the shit.
Oh.
Fucking, you retarded.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I'm in the class. Of course, the first class, I'm like, bitch, I don't need to be in here. I ain't no this and that, I ain't got these people issues. So I'm just in that bitch, just cakewalking for court. You know what I'm saying? Just chilling, making sure I show up, get signed off, and I'm out. But eventually, it's like, all right, nigga, you might as well just go ahead and participate. The lady was a black Jamaican lady, so it was a little easier for her to, kind of talk to me, because usually, when it's people of another race or color, I'm kind of a little
Not so
biased.
quick to be
Yeah,
open.
I'm like, nigga, you just getting paid. But then, you know, one day she started talking about boundaries, and I was like, what the fuck is boundaries? Like, I ain't have a clue. Like, I had really never heard that word. And at the time, I was probably, 23? And I had never really heard the word boundary used in relationships. So I'm like, hmm. So now she started breaking down, like, what it is. Of course, now I'm engaged. So now I'm, me, I'm going to question your ass to death, challenge you to see what the fuck you really talking about. So she started breaking down, like, okay, what is boundaries, how they can benefit you, how they can affect your relationship in a positive way, this and that. So she gave like a simple example of if her best friend called her at 5 in the morning, will she come pick her up if she needed a ride? Or she was out drinking. She used like something wild like that. Like, I was out drinking at the club and I need a ride, or I can't drive, so now I need a ride, or some shit like that. So she was like, she'll tell her friend, I will do this one time because I'm your friend and I love you. I don't want to see you get into nothing unsafe. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure you're safe and get home. But don't ever call me again, because I have to get up and I don't do this. Like, I don't want to be your emergency call person. You know what I'm saying? Like, her boundary was that she sleep for work in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So nobody called her, but she used, hypothetically speaking, her friend kept calling her like it's an emergency. So she answered, but she said, like she said, don't do this no more. Don't ever call me again. I'm not answering for you. It doesn't matter. But I'm doing this for you this one time. But I'm still going against my boundary, but I'll do it for you because I love you and I want to see you safe. But don't ever do it again. All right, cool. That was just a simple example that I was like, oh, okay. So I'm thinking boundaries was more like fear-based. But no, it's like it's giving yourself less negative chances of altercations or how would you say, like arguments or anything that's
like misunderstanding.
Yeah, misunderstanding. Anything that's negative within relationships. And this is any type of relationship. This is man, woman, friend,
co-worker,
whatever.
family.
And boundaries vary from person to person, and it varies from situation to situation. So you have different boundaries at work. Your one boundary is you don't befriend no one at work. Because maybe in the past you have had some issues, but maybe you haven't. It's just your boundary is I don't befriend no one at work. I keep it professional. So I don't have no room for no fuck ups. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we don't have no boundaries in our life, and then we have issues from everywhere. Like when I used to have conversations with you about friend girls and girls that I dealt with, and then I might have an issue with a homie and a relative. Now, they all life things, and, it's all kind of like normal. But if I had more boundaries, like growing up, knew this shit, I would have avoided a lot of arguments, fights, a lot of negative people, a lot of everything. So, like, a personal example of when my sister came and visited me, I don't do your friends. You know what I'm saying? Whoever it is, I don't allow friends at my house. So if you coming from, in town to visit me, there's nothing wrong with stopping by. But if you're talking about staying the night, no, you have to get a hotel. Now, they can get a hotel. You can stay here, but your friends is, you know what I'm saying? I don't care who it is. That's just a boundary. because I don't want to have to deal with my significant other complaining. I don't want to have to deal with nobody stealing nothing. I don't want to have to deal with questioning you or
Having
me
to
feeling
watch you. Or
me
feeling
feeling
uncomfortable.
unsafe or anything. It doesn't matter. I don't care if I had $1 in my house versus $500,000. It's just my boundary is I just don't allow outside guests in my home. It's just that's simple. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but you're not wrong for having boundaries. And a lot of times, like I say, I titled this "Your Boundaries Hurt Me" because a lot of times people take it as you doing it,
Just to them.
yeah, to me, well, to them. So I might have had this boundary for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Just like another boundary. I don't just be quick to want to go with a female. You know what I'm saying? Even when I was in middle school, you know what I'm saying? My boundary is I got to get to know you before I get close to you. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of people should have that boundary, but that's a whole nother story. But all right, so god damn, my phone won't unlock. If you didn't know what boundaries was, what the hell is wrong with my phone? All right. So the definition of boundaries is a line that marks the limit of an area, a divided line. That's semicolon, divided line. So a line that marks the limit of an area, just like on a football field. It's encroachment if the defensive player is lined up over the ball, so they say, because now you have an advantage to get to the quarterback quicker or get to the ball, cause a fumble. Like it's not fair. So you can get a flag, but the line is behind the ball. You know what I'm saying? That's a boundary. So you could just use something like that as an analogy or whatever sport you're familiar with to kind of understand what they meant by definition. So then I got the definition of fear, which is an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, comma, likely to cause pain, comma, or a threat. So a lot of people might take your boundary as you being fearful, or they might, like I say, take your boundary personal. Now, do you have any experience with boundaries?
Of course. And whether it's at work, like I said, I have rules at work with people. My family, just to try to stay out of people bullshit. I don't really like people coming to me with. I used to be somebody that can listen to venters, but now it's annoying if you're not trying to fix the problem. So with me, like if you come to me about an issue you having, I'm going to try to, or my brain is going to try to find a way to fix it or kind of guide you to find a way to fix it. Like I'm not just going to listen to you sit up there and complain and bitch and moan and not do nothing about it or not want to do nothing about it.
So do you tell them up front, or because sometimes
I'll try to just lead them to away from them venting and let's go to problem solving.
Yeah, but sometimes you just need to let people vent.
Yeah,
But that's what I'm saying. You could tell them up front, like your boundary could be like when somebody needed to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? It might be a kid one day. You don't want to shut down kids, so you kind of want to tell them.
It's not a shutdown. It's just, okay, how do we solve the problem?
I know that, but what I'm saying is sometimes people didn't call you for problem solving. They just need to get it out. So maybe you need to say, ask them, are you trying to problem solve, or you just need somebody to talk to?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they smart enough to say, yeah, this the situation and what should I do? Or they might just be one event because sometimes people just need somebody to talk to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I ain't saying you got to change your shit because you ain't wrong for not wanting to hear people bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But, it's just it's a better approach to the situation, I believe. But go ahead, what you were saying?
I forgot.
Oh. All right, well, I got this article off the Huff Post. I'm finna send it to you right now. So while you in your phone texting.
I'm not texting. My phone be dry.
Yeah.
My phone is.
Anyways, so go to this link real quick. It's from the Huff Post. If anybody want to follow along or read it, it's from the Huff Post. It's called 6 Steps to Setting Boundaries in Relationships. So it's a blog post from December 1st, 2014 by Jennifer Twardowski. Damn, I've never seen that last name. Or the T might be silent. It might be Wardowski or Twardowski, whatever. Anyways, so she had an interesting post that kind of tied into this because I was just doing some, some reading on some articles and stuff like that. So you got to pull it up.
Mm-hmm.
Could you read step 1, just the title?
Recognize and acknowledge your own feelings.
Okay, that's a good one. So, I mean, if you want to, we can read all this shit. It's not that long. Or what we can do is just go over the 6 steps and kind of like elaborate on them. Because I can pretty much elaborate on them myself too. I'm pretty sure you can too. So, back to step 1. Recognize and acknowledge your own feelings. So setting boundaries, basically, you have to understand yourself. You need to know how far you would let somebody in a certain situation or a certain conversation or whatever the activity is. You need to know yourself. So you need to practice. You need to, I guess, for lack of better words, like what would you
just
use?
pay attention to your feelings and to your reactions to
Yeah,
people's things.
you kind of need to be your own scientist because a lot of times we shut ourselves off from shit that is deemed negative to us. So you kind of want to go through some stuff, and you probably won't be as comfortable. But yeah, so you got to know your own feelings before you actually set boundaries. So don't think you're gonna set the right boundaries in the beginning, because you kind of gonna fuck up more than likely. So, and then number 2 was recognize how your boundaries have been crossed.
When you feel not necessarily tried, but when you feel like someone has overstepped their your comfort zone with them, you need to recognize that when that happens, so that you can know that you need to do something about it.
Yeah, so it's like the article also says like, is the person always asking to borrow money from you, but they never pay you back? Do you find yourself always answering your friends' texts or phone calls late at night and it's causing you to lose sleep? Is the person always making critical comments towards you? Does this person always seem to have problems that you always have to help them with? Do you have a client who always shows up late for your appointments? So you need to be aware of this person has crossed my boundaries. Like, don't set something in your head and then still allow anything, because it's not going to work. Like, you're not even aware that you had this boundary. And don't be passive either, because that's going to really fuck you up. That's going to start building resentment towards people. Yeah, so know your feelings so you can set your boundaries, and then once you set your boundaries, be aware if they have been crossed. And then step 3 was recognize how you need to set your boundary. Once you can recognize what it is that is causing you to feel overwhelmed, drained, or simply bad, then decide what it is that you need to say to this person. So that was kind of what you were saying earlier. Yeah. That's crazy. When you was basically, you hit it on the head. When somebody want to talk to you about their problems, how do you shut them down in I guess in a more respectable way?
And I've done that before. Said, kind of let people know, we all kind of got shit we're dealing with, and bitch, I ain't got answers.
Yeah. See, I'm probably about to go down a little rabbit hole, but I'm the person who has a reference point of knowing that if you just can listen to people, sometimes it helps them. Because sometimes a lot of people that's suicidal is just because nobody want to listen to them sometimes. You know what I'm saying? They feel like nobody love them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just some cases. I ain't saying all of them. Um, like I know me, I don't mind listening to somebody and just letting them rant because sometimes I have needed somebody to listen to me. So there is a soft spot, but I have diminished that soft spot down to a smaller percentage of allowing people to bring their problems to me because it becomes repetitive and it becomes a you're the go-to guy. And then people start expecting things and just think you're supposed to always be there. So I had a situation that you knew about. Uh, I would listen to this girl all the time. For those who listening, I would listen to this girl, let her rant because I felt like I had enough tools to allow her to tell me her problems, and I would give her suggestions, and I would give her advice. You know what I'm saying, to kind of help her diminish the problem to where she don't have to keep feeling that way or whatever. Because she was cool. I wouldn't say she was a close friend, but she was cool or whatever. I looked at her like a little sister. But then, if you're going to continue to perpetually do the same thing, I ain't that nigga, bitch. See, I can go from cool to goddamn, all right, leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't come to me with it too. I'm the same way. But I will give you the benefit of the doubt first. So the situation was, she wanted to tell me about this dude. And she have already told me about this dude twice and still wind up, long story short, you know how y'all be saying, oh, I ain't gonna mess with him no more, da 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 da, whatever. You tell your homegirls that, but it's different when you tell a dude. So I'm like, hey, okay, she told me about him once or twice before, and I was like, hey, if you're going to continue to talk to him even after XYZ, I was like, don't bring him up to me no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I already told you what you should do to leave him alone, this and that. But you grown and you can make your own decisions. It's almost like I'm her damn daddy. Ugh, it's disgusting, actually, now that I think about it. Because your parents say the same shit. All right, you grown, you make your own decisions, but don't bring it to me no more. That's all I ask. That simple bound. I had a simple boundary. I don't mind listening. I have listened, but I'm not gonna let you continue to bring the same story to me. I'm not your best friend or your best homegirl, your mom or whatever. So if you come to me for advice, I'll tell you, and then you wanna talk about it later on the follow up. Cool, but now you want to bring it up again, and you still want to continue to do the same thing. And now that I tell you don't bring it up, and you get mad when I have already told you and you agreed that you won't, and then you get mad because I don't want to listen. Like, what step 2 said? Recognize when your boundaries have been crossed.
Yeah.
She crossed my boundary, and I had to let her know. Like you tripping. Like, you're annoying me right now, and I need to stop this text conversation. Like, don't text me right now. Like, because you getting mad at me, you know what I'm saying? And one thing led to another, whatever. That's a whole nother story. But I say that to say this. Stand strong on your boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people gonna make you feel like you the bad one, but you're not. And back to what they were saying, how you can throw them off. You can tell them, I have some problems of my own. Now, I could have did that. You know what I'm saying? I could have said, hey, I know you're in pain, but I have some of my own stuff to deal with right now. But I feel like in certain situations, people still ain't going. They still ain't gonna run with it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So whatever. What was number 4?
Get grounded.
Oh, that's kind of what I was just saying. It's so crazy how this shit just resonates.
So basically, don't let them make you feel like the bad guy. Stick strong to your boundaries, and don't be pulled and pushed left and right, back and forth. Stay grounded in your center.
You want to read the paragraph that they said?
Which one?
For number 4.
For this reason, it is extremely important to get grounded.
That's not the first paragraph, sweetie.
Yeah, but that
What
one didn't make sense. That one.
What? That there are two things.
It makes sense, but you still have
it
to
says
elaborate.
get grounded. There are 2 things that often happen when boundaries in relationship have been weak. 1, there is a backlash from the other person, and 2, you feel guilty. So that's what we were just saying. Don't let them people make you feel like you're doing something wrong. And then they give reasons why. It says you are not wrong for setting your boundary. In fact, you are taking care of yourself, which is something that we should all do above all else.
Amen. I preach that. TCOY.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm fucking with this little post. Like, it's crazy because a lot of shit we talking about, it just like keep tying into everything. So that makes it even more, even more believable and more beneficial, I feel. And then step 5 was voice it. Make your boundary known. Communicate it to the other person. That's another thing you have to do. Don't have boundaries inside. I had to learn this too. Don't have boundaries in your head and then be defensive, waiting on people to cross it. I think women do that a lot. Like, y'all have a lot of things that y'all don't allow, quote unquote, and then you waiting on the guy or the girl to, like, you being passive. You waiting on him to make the first move of fucking up when you ain't never say nothing. You know what I'm saying? You ain't never say you didn't like this or you don't want me to call you after a certain time. Like, I didn't know that. You didn't tell me. But now you mad because I called you after 12. Oh, don't call me after 12. You know what I'm saying? It's my first time doing it. I don't know. So you have to let people know what it is. That's why you have to be solid. You know what I'm saying? And then they got some nice stuff that go with voice it. But we'll say step 6 was take care of yourself. If setting the boundary brought up any backlash or feelings of guilt, then be sure to take care of yourself. Go for a walk, exercise, be out in nature, etc. Do something to help yourself. Get recentered and don't spend too much or any energy focusing on what happened. So don't, like I said earlier, don't feel bad that you have boundaries and then these people cross it and then you put them in a place and whatever happened after that, don't feel bad because that's what you standing on. You know what I'm saying? I have done that and I have been a fucking pussy and still go back on my word. Well, I would say I'm not going to talk to this person often or I'm not going to text after a certain time. And then, sometimes nigga might get bored or a lot of things guys do. Oh, I ain't fucking her no more. And then, bitch, a month later you horny, ain't got shit on your line. Fuck. You know she gonna go for it. So it's like, man, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? You going back on your word. So basically, you just got to take care of yourself because now you're going to feel bad after that. So, but if you want to really get in depth with this post, is on huffpost.com, 6 steps to setting boundaries in relationships. I think she did a pretty fucking good job, being that she resonated with a lot of shit that I have already thought and have came up with myself. So I guess I'm being confirmation biased. Once again, her name is Jennifer Wardowski. And yeah, y'all check it out. But yeah, I mean, if you want to keep elaborating, we can. We don't know time limit. How did you learn about boundaries? How did they help you? Like, did you have to bump your head or what? Like,
yeah, I had to bump my head. It's just in dealing with people. You're always going. That's how you learn yourself and learn your boundaries, from dealing with people. Somebody's always going to cross your boundary. It's just a matter of how do you deal with it. So, just like you said, don't be passive about things, and don't think that people are just going to get it. Sometimes you have to voice your boundaries to them so that they understand.
And it's just all about becoming, more of a mature and responsible adult. Like, you don't want to keep bumping your head or allowing people to come into your space and fuck up your positive vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like moving throughout life, you're gonna have to deal with people, and everybody is not on the same path. So it's like just have some nice boundaries. They ain't got to be all down to the nitty gritty point. Just have a couple. You know what I'm saying? I don't do this. I don't allow that. And you got to challenge them as you grow though, because some of it might keep you stagnant. So, but if it's beneficial or you really know yourself, that's why step one is what it said. Step one.
No, I already closed it.
Huh?
I already closed it.
All right. Well, step one was know your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Know your own feelings. So you need to know yourself first, and don't be scared to try shit either. And I'm gonna get my fucking throat fixed, cause this shit ain't gonna keep working. This water is not helping me. Yeah.
Drink
So
some lemon water.
lemon water.
Yeah.
I ain't got no lemon. I got water.
We're supposed to get some at the farmer's market. I told you to
Lemons?
grab some. Yeah, I said you should get some lemons.
Oh, well, I didn't hear you. I was too busy taking pictures for Instagram. Yeah. So I think boundaries. I don't know if we articulated everything to the best of your liking, but I think the overall concept, and by us giving you the link for a reference point, and now that you can kind of stop and think like, damn, if I did set, I mean, we kind of all feel this shit. I know we all feel this shit, because you be like, nigga, you tripping, but you still let momentum, or you being passive and shit. Like, I've done that shit. Like, I've wanted to tell a person some shit, but didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But after a while, it's just like, man, you gotta have boundaries. You have to. You're gonna be a fucking nutcase if you don't. So, I think people should think this is beneficial. I don't know, but like I said, I don't think we gave the information at the best delivery. But now y'all have a reference point, and now you can look up some shit, and yeah, you can stop getting giving the pussy up on the first night.
Whoa. I don't have anything else to add.
I bet it is, Miss Sleepy.
Tired. I'm ready to go to sleep.
Give me some head on.
Right now?
Yeah.
All right, come on.
All right, so Talking Fresh Podcast, once again, on Instagram, on YouTube, on freshworkztv. Also follow Talking Fresh Podcast on YouTube, the channel. So subscribe to both freshworkztv, and then we're moving everything over to Talking Fresh Podcast YouTube channel too. So subscribe there. But that'll be a couple more episodes. Will still be on freshworkztv for now. So, do you want to promote anything? Oh, shouts out to that damn farmer's market for giving me that nasty ass honey. That honey ain't come from no bee. That's Walt's honey.
Oh,
that shit had a nasty ass aftertaste.
We'll take it back.
Anything you want to say?
No.
Me sleepy.
I'm sleepy, so I'm going to bed after this.
My wee sleepy too. You want to shake it?
Can we start recording?
Want to shake my wee? Come on, give him a little sample. You've been watching Prisha, the head doctor.
That's pressure.
It's Prisha. I think she meant to say pressure, but she said Prisha.